right, JJ, what are you starting off with?
I'm reading The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. I read this every year. Well, I decided last year I'm gonna read this every year. This is actually my 3rd time reading it, but I read it in high school and then I read it last year and I decided I have to read it every single year.
Hello. I've been trying to read this series for so long. Not trying to read it, I've been wanting to read it for so long. But this is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I don't, as with every book, I don't know really what it's about. But I think it's like set in medieval times. I think I heard it's just like a true fantasy series, whatever that means. So I'm excited to read it.
I know when I was watching your last one, you're like, I don't really know what this is about.
I know. So, wait, I need to like hold this. Okay, the rules for this readathon are very simple.
What are the rules?
Well, we're just gonna read for 12 hours today and then 12 hours tomorrow. Okay, cute.
The readathon begins now.
Wait, ready? Show you book 1, 2, 3.
But first, cheers.
Cheers. Starting for 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. Let's go. Did that work? Okay, great. Let's go. We have a finished book, ladies and gentlemen. What are you gonna read next?
I don't know yet. The Age of Magical Overthinking by Amanda
Oh,
Montell.
I remember you. Okay,
Yeah.
you were telling me about that
It
yesterday.
looks like this.
Oh, okay, I have an update right now. I am nowhere near finishing this book. I'm on page 122 of Assassin's Apprentice. Here, wait. Okay, like I said, I'm on page 122 of Assassin's Apprentice. I feel like this whole book, as in like a lot of fantasy books, it takes a while to get into it. I still don't feel like I'm really into it. There's kind of something big that just happened, but I'm pretty confused. But I'm gonna keep going because I've heard a lot of good things about this book and I want it to be good. We'll see. It's kind of, I don't know. It's making, I don't even know how to feel about it actually. But that's good you finished your book. I don't know what to read after, but I'm gonna be reading this for a while. What time is it? Oh, we have 20 hours left on the clock. I'm reading this so slowly, I'm just not realizing.
No, you're not. I only read like 40 more pages than you, and these are really small.
But you finished the book. Well, anyways, I haven't been, wait, I can't speak right now. I've been in the biggest reading slump of my life for the past, I think, 4 months. So it's good we're reading. JJ right here is in law school, so she doesn't really get to read unless it's
A textbook?
a textbook. Yeah, why can I read it? But I think we're gonna go, here, I'll film you. I think we're gonna go to a coffee shop.
Coffee number 3.
We're gonna get coffee number 3. Do you know what coffee shop we should go to?
No.
We're gonna go to a coffee shop. Change of scenery is necessary. We gotta get out of this house at least once today. So this will be that one time. Forgot to mention this, we are pausing the timer whenever we stop reading. So since we're going to the coffee shop, we're pausing the timer. Hello guys, I'm back with a little update. I am on chapter 12 in Assassin's Apprentice. That is page 204. And I'm kind of thinking I want to take a little bit of a break. I think we still have like 19 hours left in the challenge. I'm pretty sure. So I want to switch so I don't get too burnt out, and I'm gonna read a little bit of Daydream by Hannah Grace. I actually have it on my Kindle, so I think I'm gonna finish it up on there. I think I have like 20% left in the book, I'm pretty sure, so I'm going to switch it up so I don't get burnt out. But as far as Assassin's Apprentice goes, for most of my time reading this today, I have been pretty confused, I'm not gonna lie, about what's going on. I feel like it wasn't until I hit page like 100 that I actually understood what was happening. It's definitely like more of like a high fantasy is what I'm finding out. I just wasn't understanding the plot for a bit. I just felt like nothing was really happening, but now I feel like we're finally getting into like the main part of the plot, so it's a lot more entertaining now, but I do still feel like I'm not necessarily in the mood to continue reading it right now. But in this book we follow Fitz, who is the illegitimate son of the current prince in this kingdom. He's never met his father and has no claim to the throne, so he's kept in this he's actually kept in these stables by the castle, and so he's surrounded by a bunch of animals all the time, and he has this like deep connection with animals that is something that's like very frowned upon in this kingdom, because like when you have a deep connection with the animals, you're able to kind of like go into their mind and they're able to go into yours. You kind of become one, and eventually if there's like not proper training done, that can lead to you kind of going insane and ultimately becoming like a beast. So his guardian that is taking care of him is like really trying to prevent him from like interacting with a lot of the animals, and it's not until one day that he's actually invited to live at the castle and stumbles upon a trained assassin that works with certain people in the kingdom. He ultimately becomes the assassin's apprentice in order to kind of like have a role in society. What happens is that the kingdom is under attack and is constantly being raided by these like sort of pirates. So it's his ultimate task with his teacher that he's the apprentice of, that they are trying to protect the kingdom from invasion, and that's kind of the main thing that's happening right now. I'm enjoying it. I think I don't know, it's been a while since I've read like a high fantasy book, so a lot of it has been me trying to just like figure out what the heck is going on. So that's why it's taking me so long to read this, I feel like. But right now I need like a brain break, and I just want to read my cute little romance book. Ultimately with Daydream by Hannah Grace, this is the third book in her Maple Hills series. I don't know how many of these books she's coming out with. I do really like this series actually. Yes, so I'm just going to go back to reading and read some of this. No, you didn't. Hello, we are back, and we have both finished one book. What time is it?
It's 7:57. We have 16 hours left.
So as I mentioned before, I got through about halfway in Assassin's Apprentice, and I'm just taking a little break from that. So I picked up Daydream by Hannah Grace, and I had about like 150 pages left. I finished it, and I really enjoyed it. Do you know what it's about?
Well, I read Icebreaker.
Okay, well, it's like that, but the Henry. This one follows Henry, who is the best guy in the book, in my opinion. I really liked Hallie, the main character. She was very relatable. She's like, I mean, I'm gonna get it together. She loves reading. She is an introvert at heart, and she has other qualities, but those are the ones I think I related to the most.
Very relatable.
But the cover is so cute. And look at, she has like a little folklore cardigan, which I also have a folklore cardigan. And after I wore it twice, it like the whole sleeve ripped like fully. And I emailed the customer service about it and they wouldn't give me a refund. So
You better watch out, actually. Because Oh my goodness, in my book, the one I was listening to, she was talking about Taylor Swift stans and how like you have to be careful, they're gonna come for you. That's kind of weird that you just said that.
But I am a Taylor Swift stan.
No, but like the crazy stans. Like that will like fight people, you know?
Yeah.
That was really funny that you just said that. I like kind of triggered what I was just listening to at the coffee shop.
Well,
anyways.
I mean nothing but I love Taylor Swift and her customer support team. I finished this, and what did you finish, JJ?
I finished The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, and how to explain this book without giving it all away. He dies immediately, and that's not a spoiler because it's like in the first page, and then it's like his journey of just like him talking about his entire life and these people he meets along his journey, people that affected his life. One of the people was his wife. It's like all these different people in his life. I don't know how to describe it. It just made me cry about 3 times, and I've read it. This is my 3rd time reading it, and it just is so good. And I think it's kind of a popular book. I don't know.
I feel like I've heard of it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have read it. I feel like a lot of celebrities are like,
The Buckmen are wilder than ever.
ew, did you see what just came out of its mouth?
No.
A bug.
Ew.
Anyways, like every time I read it, I'm like, I forget what happens. I'm like, wow, that was just like really moving. And there's a lot of beautiful prose in it, I will say. I'm like, wow, I need to write that down. And then I also started listening to the one I was just talking about, the Taylor Swift book. The Age of Magical Overthinking. Not loving it, so I've already taken a break. And now I'm reading Funny Story by Emily Henry, which I've also read before. But I just wanted to like pick it up again.
You gotta reread.
I gotta reread. It's really good so far. What's it about? Just basically these 2 people get dumped. The main character, her fiance, dumps her for his childhood best friend who is dating the main guy in this book. And then they have to live together. Then they start to like fake date, and then it might blossom, it might not. We'll see what happens.
I'm kind of trying to figure out what book I want to read next. I feel like I also might do a reread, but I'm not sure. Oh.
Maybe you could pick up Dry.
No. There's this book that I've had on my bookshelf ever since JJ met me freshman year of college.
When we had like 4 books.
Oh, we had like 4 books. And it's called Dry by Neil Shusterman. But I picked it up right before like COVID freshman year. In the book, it's kind of like an apocalyptic?
Yeah,
Apocalyptic book. And then I was like reading it, and then the whole like COVID pandemic happened, and I was like, I can't read this anymore actually. So I have yet to pick it up again.
And I've just seen it. I've seen it move to every apartment ever, childhood homes. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's Dry. Like,
I'll read it. I'll read it one of these days, but at 8 o'clock tonight is not the time.
That's fair.
But I don't know. I'm gonna peruse the bookshelves and we'll see what I stumble across. I wanted to read Catching Fire, which ironically is also like...
So that's fine.
It's different for some reason. But I wanted to read that, but it did 12-week hold at my library because I wanted to read on my Kindle. But for Catching Fire, this book has been out for like 15 years. I have the physical version of the book, but holding a hardcover right now, I might die. Not to be dramatic. My like Hunger Games copy is actually as stiff as a rock.
It's like it's been gone through like a river, and that's how they sell it. It's like rock solid.
Yeah. It's like it's gone through the Hunger Games.
I know. I was thinking that when we were talking about it earlier. I was like, they made it that way on purpose.
But yeah, that's our update. Hello, welcome to day 2 of our readathon. We have 13 hours and
10 minutes.
13 hours and 10 minutes left in the readathon. I am on page 120 in Catching Fire. Really enjoying it. JJ?
I'm like almost done with Emily Henry. I probably have like 100 pages left.
Well, we're just gonna get started now so we don't have to stay up till midnight finishing it. What you got right there?
English muffin on a really cool plate.
on the
Like-
Founding Fathers
Just like
plate.
the founding fathers or whatever.
Nothing to see here. Okay, starting now.
I'm so tired.
How are you feeling?
Tired. Bad.
Hello.
Hello.
We desperately need a break from each other. Just kidding. And so, I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. Whoa.
Bro.
Anyways.
So we're going to go get some dinner and read some more in public because that's just our favorite activity right now.
Our apartment is freezing cold.
Our apartment is freezing.
Freezing.
We have cranked the heat. I don't know what's going on. So we need to go somewhere warm. So we're gonna get some food. I'm very excited.
I'm gonna read.
I know, I finished Catching Fire. Absolutely loved it. That was my first time reading it. 5 stars. My first 5-star of the year.
Wait,
That's exciting.
the other one wasn't a 5-star.
The other one wasn't 5-star. I give it 3.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But yeah, what are you reading?
I'm reading The 7-Year Slip, which I have listened to the audiobook before. I'm doing all rereads right now, I think. And I finished Funny Story. It was very good. And loving this so far. I'm like really liking this. What's it about? I can't explain it actually.
We're gonna go. I'm started Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I'm reading that on my Kindle. So come along with us to dinner. Hi guys, I'm back and I wanted to give a little bit of an update about the readathon. The end of the readathon didn't go exactly as planned, I would say. JJ and I both got really tired. We went to bed at like 11:30. We were just not great at staying up late, but we tried our hardest. We still ended up reading a lot. So I know JJ read that one book, 5 People We Meet in Heaven, funny story, and she finished The 7-Year Slip and started that one audiobook. But I ended up finishing 3 books and half of Assassin's Apprentice. So let's just go over those real fast, just to talk about them a little more, because who doesn't love talking about books? That's probably why you're here, to talk about books, or hear me talk about books. So first book I finished, Daydream by Hannah Grace. I have been thinking about this book for a little bit and like trying to figure out a rating for it, and I think I'm ending at like a 3.25 stars. I'm trying to be a little harsher with my ratings so that they hold more weight. I actually did really enjoy this. I think this is my favorite out of the 3 Maple Hills books that Hannah Grace has come out with. So we have Icebreaker, Wildfire, and Daydream. This one was really cute. I enjoyed my time, and yes, I had so much fun reading Catching Fire. This has always been my favorite movie out of the 3 of them, so I was very eager to read the book. And it was not hard for me at all to read this during the readathon. I feel like it woke me back up while I'm reading it. I had such a great time. I mean, it sounds kind of weird saying I had such a great time reading about this when the context of the book is crazy. These books are just so good. I'm very excited to read Mockingjay, but I am a little nervous. It's probably my least favorite. Like the 2 movies are probably my least favorite movies, but who knows? Maybe I'll love the book. Who knows? So I'm gonna read that next, and then I'll have read all of the Suzanne Collins books before the new one comes out in March. Oh, and I ended up rating this a 5-star because I don't know any other rating that would fit for this book other than 5 stars. And then I mentioned this a little bit during the video, but I read about 200, give or so, pages of Assassin's Apprentice. It's just very slow. This was not a good book to pick up for a readathon, I would say. I definitely want to take my time with it. And honestly, I was pretty discouraged reading it until I watched a YouTube video of someone reviewing it, but like a spoiler-free review of the book. They're like a huge fantasy reader, and they said it does take a while to get into the plot, but then once you're in there, it's so good. Because also I just wasn't connecting with the main character Fitz, and he said in his video that you really start connecting with him halfway through, and I'm about halfway through, so that actually gave me a lot of hope. So I'm very excited to take my time with this and to continue it, because he said he wasn't really enjoying it halfway through and almost put it down, which I was like, oh, are you in my mind? This is the exact situation I'm in right now. And then he continued it and loved it and can't wait to read the other ones. So that gave me a lot of hope. I'm gonna continue reading this over the next couple days, and maybe this will be in my wrap-up video for the end of the month to see how I liked it. And the final book I completed in the readathon was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I actually did not finish this during the readathon. I think by the time the timer was done for the whole readathon, I had gotten about like 50% of the way through. But then I read this over the course of a couple days and I finished it, and I really liked it. I've read one other Abby Jimenez book, Yours Truly by her, and I didn't really like it. So I didn't have high expectations for this book. I mean, I kind of did actually, because a lot of people I know love this book. So I did actually have high expectations, I would say. And they were definitely met. I was a little iffy at the beginning about the male main character. He was giving love bomber vibes, and that always scares me. But as long as he's consistent with like the loving actions and stuff, then he's not a love bomber. And that's what he did. He stayed consistent. So I appreciated that. I was kind of thinking about my rating for this, and I ended up at a 4.25. I thought that this was perfect. It kind of reminded me of like Emily Henry books, which I know she gets compared to a lot, Abby Jimenez. And it reminded me of an Emily Henry book in the way that there's so much dimension to the characters, and it's not just about the romance, it's also about the two characters in it, like what's going on outside of their romantic relationship. And the way that the like hardships that they were going through were so specific that it made it feel like the characters were so much more real, if that makes sense. Like I feel like a lot of times in a romance book, their biggest hardship they're going through is like their cafe is being foreclosed or something like that, but which that's a problem for sure, problem people definitely have. But the issues in this book were just, I don't even know how to explain it. It just made the book so much more alive. I really liked everything about this book. I think I hesitate to give it a 5-star because at the beginning, I just wasn't connecting with it that much at the beginning, but overall, I really liked it, and yes. All right, so these are the 4 books that I read throughout this video. I am super happy that I read these. These were actually the first books that I read for the new year and finished the 3. But yeah, it was so much fun. It was so much fun hanging out with JJ, and we had a great time over the course of 2 days. I will say the day after that, I probably couldn't read anything more than just a couple pages of a book because I was just so over it. But had a great time exploring some fun coffee shops, hanging out at our apartment, spending some quality time sitting alone together and reading. Email. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I would appreciate it so much if you subscribed. That would mean the world to me. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.